Hello and welcome to episode 30 of the Smash Ultimate Mod Workshop. This is the part 2 to the previous episode, which is about how to find status scripts. This episode will be an introduction to translating status scripts. There's a lot to be learned when it comes to this, so I'll direct you all to the Smash Ultimate Modding Discord if you need any additional help. So what we're going to be doing today is porting Charizard's up B to Ridley. Pretty simple task, but this is meant to just be an introduction. Here I've prepared a mod that replaces the animation and hitboxes of Ridley's up B with Charizard's. If I test this in Smash, you'll see that it does absolutely nothing. This is a required step technically, but it's not activating the hitboxes because, well, every fighter has one main set of statuses for each special attack. Mostly, they just handle moving from the ground to the air, and making sure that the move's hitboxes work properly. If a special move is more complicated, it may have more status scripts for it. Moves like Mario Cape, Puff Arrest, Charizard up B are really no different from like an F smash or an up tilt. You press the button and the move comes out. On the other hand, stuff like Mario Flood, Puff Rollout, and Ridley up B have many more statuses. Flood can be charged, it can be angled, Rollout can turn around multiple times and go at different speeds, and Ridley has many different directions that he can fly in. All of these moves have their one main status, but in addition, Mario Cape, Puff Rest, and Charizard up B all have 0 extra statuses. On the other hand, Mario Flood has 2 extra statuses, Puff Rollout has 7 extra statuses, and Ridley up B has 10. To port a special move, the move you want to port has to have the same or fewer statuses than the move that it's replacing. This is why we're putting Charizard's up B over Ridley. Ridley's 11 total up B statuses will not fit on Charizard, but Charizard's 1 will fit on Ridley's 11. But why are Charizard's hitboxes not doing anything on Ridley's up B? Well, Ridley's main up B status is just used to determine what inputs the player is doing and which of his extra statuses should be activated. His main doesn't really have hitboxes or anything, and isn't actually seen in the game. Think of it as working in the background for less than a frame so that the rest of the move runs smoothly. Either way, what we're doing is just replacing Ridley's main status with Charizard's, which should have him not go into the other statuses and just do Charizard things. Now, after this section, I don't actually have a script. I'm just going to wing this entire thing as I try to explain my process, show off most of what there is to know, and take you through replacing a status script. This document I have here is some of the notes that I took while having this explained to me. I think I'll reference it a couple times. And then these documents are just the statuses that I got from Ghidra in the last episode. So most of replacing status scripts is just finding the code that doesn't make sense and replacing it with code that does. Let's just go through these 4 sections of Charizard's main status and see what we can do. First of all, these lines with tildes, I know I'm actually going to go ahead and remove all of them because the ones with tildes are just like saving variables to like the local storage or whatever, and we don't actually need them. So I'm just going to go through, remove every single tilde. Or, well, every line that has a tilde. And then I'm also just going to search for tildes in all the files, just to make sure that I've got them all. And we're good. Next, let's just go through these in order. So this top section, or well, this is just declaring a variable, which we don't need. And this top section is just like, here's the move you're doing, or whatever. So I'm just going to work on these 4 lines and put them down here. Okay, so when you see lab 71 and then a bunch of numbers, or like DAT or FUN, it's like, that's some really complicated stuff. And that's the kind of thing that I don't actually know a lot about. So I'm just going to hope that that's not going to come up. And I'm just going to ignore this line for now. So this line, if I just throw this into GitHub, I found something. Oh, I see. Okay. This whole line we can replace with this. So when you see actually the word this, that is where you would put fighter in. And well, this function is actually kind of weird in the way that it works. I'll get back to using this, and if we see another example of this, I'll explain it. Usually when you see like L2C value 0 cross D 0, or like any of these L2C value 0 cross, that's a hash, and usually it just means like take the last AL stack you see. But then easy part, when you see a return, and you'll probably see this return value 0, all you need to type is return 0 dot into intro into like that. And that's the script right there. Pretty sure that's it. I believe you can also write this line as just 0 dot into without the semicolon, because not putting a semicolon is an implied return. Also, was it like episode 26 that I showed it off in? Yeah, just putting ret here, because ret is, well, ret's a variable, and we like set the variable to like the original value of the function. Usually you would write the line as return ret semicolon, but if we take out the semicolon, then the return is implied. Awesome. I prefer just having the return there just so I know exactly what's happening, but let's move on to the next one. Let's save this for later. Main loop isn't that long either. Super jump, this is going to be pretty similar to the last one. We'll take this, move the fighter dot, and then super jump punch main, that semicolon. Trust. This one, actually I'm just gonna, so super jump punch main is it's a function, I don't really understand it too well. It's a function that that's used in a lot of upbees. Now we're done with main loop. We just have main and pre, and unfortunately those are the really long stupid ones. Oh no, these aren't actually that bad. Okay, so main. I'm actually gonna copy all of this code and just put it right here, and then I will feel slightly better about just like writing the code in here and then deleting the section above. And also, I don't like these double spaces, so I'm just gonna find double space, replace with nothing, and replace all. Okay, that looks so much better to me already. So now we get into the actual meat of translating status scripts. I'll try to explain this somewhat slow. So when you see a function like this, it's saving this value to this variable. So let AL stack 96 equal O cross A whatever. And then this is actually one line. We are saving this value to this variable. So and where is the AND key? And L stack 112 equal, and then whenever you see an underscore at the beginning of a variable name, you should put an asterisk there. Just like that. Now this line is just setting ivar3 equal to 96. So I'm just going to take ivar3 and put it there, since we know that this is ivar6, or AL stack 96. And then this one is, yeah, just setting ivar1 equal to 112. And then, ooh, interesting. Let ppb var6 equal fighter dot module accessor. Make 100% sure we are typing it like this and not without the underscore. I'm just going to get rid of all this now. Oh. Let's see. Ooh, now we get into functions. Work module, colon, that's what the double underscore is. And then remove the impl from the end. So we just have this. So set int64, fighter.module accessor, that should have that. Fighter.module accessor, lvar3. So that, and asterisk that. So that hash, I don't really like that hash being there. I'm gonna see what that hash is. Oh my god, no. Okay, we'll save that hash for later then. So we can get rid of those lines. We've done that. Now we set let alstack96 equal that hash. And then, oh, it's just another one of those. Let and lstack12 equal that value, or that thing. Let's work up to this line. And then ivar3 equals that. And then ivar1 equals that. And then we probably should not have deleted those variables up there because we don't actually have ppvar6 up here, but we know it's supposed to be fighter.module accessor. I'm actually going to put that back just so we know for a fact. Because I'm the type to forget. Oh, so it's just another one of these, but with different variables. So we'll set this hash equal to that. I think that's what that's doing anyway. Now it is setting variables. Wait, am I going insane? Wait, what? Did we? Oh, I deleted more than I should have. That's what it is. Let's work below that. Oh, now here's the exciting stuff. Okay. So, fvar7 equals work module get param float fighter dot module accessor. uvar4 is alstack144, which is this value, and uvar5 is 60, which is this. Here's where this actually gets super exciting. So, this line, or hang on, this is where it gets really exciting. This line can run on Charizard, but that's actually the only character in which this line can run successfully on. So what this is doing is getting a parameter from Charizard's VL. And since Ridley's VL is going to look a little bit different, we need to actually go into Charizard's VL and actually go get that parameter. So we need to get these hashes real quick. So that first hash is param special high. Here's Charizard's VL, so it's param special high ren. And then the second one is going to tell us the exact parameter that we need. Hi OBS. I didn't put it in Google. And of course, it's not in there. Oh, I know why it wasn't coming up in here. Sometimes it wants Yeah, sometimes it wants you to put another 0 before the number. So LR stick X. We're looking for LR stick X, which is 0.25. So we can actually go back here and replace this entire thing with 0.25. And we can get rid of that. Next, let's work up till... This seems like a good spot to stop. So we're setting AL stack equal to FR7. And then 96 is 0. And then, oh yeah, ooh, fun stuff. So when you see operator plus, you need to add this value and this value, and then save it in this value. So let and L stack 112 equal this plus that. I'm just going to do the math. Don't ask why we had to do any of that, by the way. And then we can get rid of this line. I'm just going to let AL stack 96 equal that. And then FR7 equals 112. IVAR1 equals 96. And set float. Module set float. Fighter dot module accessor 0.25 and this. Next up, ooh, another get param. Okay. So FR7 equals, and let's not do any of that. Let's just grab this, put it straight into here, param special high again. This one is not found, so we'll add a 0. Direction stick X. 0.625. So I'm just going to take a shortcut, do 0.625, and we'll get rid of all of that. We're kind of on a roll. Let's get to here. So 128 is FR7. That's another 0. And then we're adding, so we can tell that this is going to equal that because we're just adding 0 to this number, saving it into that. Super jump. Oh, God, another long one. So it's just going to be another work module set floats, but with different values, it's looking like. So 0.625 and this variable instead. Hope y'all can understand why that's happening. Because it's essentially the exact same code, and I think we're doing it again. Yeah, we're doing it one more time with all of this code. So all of this code is going to equal a line like this one. So we see work module set float, that's how we get that. var6 is just fighter.module accessor. 7 is 112. 112 is these two added together. 96 is 0, so we just need to worry about this one. And this is FR7, which is what we get from these two. This is the same value as before. This one, however, is going to be something different. So we know that it's direction multiplier. Since we know that this value is param special high, we can just skip that and go straight to direction. Was it direction multiplier? Yeah, 18. So we'll just pass 18 into here, and as a float. And this variable instead. Are we doing that again? Set float. Oh, we're doing it a few more times. Okay. Okay. So the second one is using this variable. The first one is using this one. And both the same value again. Let's see. It's just adding to 0. They're both just adding to 0. Okay. So we'll just take this, put it in there, put a 0 in front, pass multiplier, and acceleration y. Pass mul is 1, accel y is 0.5. So 1.0 and 0.5, and we can get rid of all of this code. So are we doing this again? Okay, so we're doing this a couple more times. So some status scripts, like just the simple ones like this one, it's just a lot of like, it simplifies very quickly is what I'm trying to say. We're just setting a bunch of values. And, oh, I know why wait, if I sets in 64 special, okay, so yeah, I don't think we should be. Ooh, let's actually minimize that. Yeah, so this is special high, this is special air high. So we might be coming back to this later. Yeah, so I'm just gonna not sub those in, because then it'll mess up the code a little bit. Do we have any more? I'm just gonna... Oh, we have 3 more. It's probably just gonna cover, like, all the parameters in the PRC file. Okay, what are they? This one uses this variable, and this variable. And this one. Start x multiplier, 0.66. We're just adding... Yeah, we're just adding 0 again. 0.66. The second hash value is air pass multiplier, 0.95. And this last hash, fall x multiplier, 0.6. And we can get rid of all of this code. I don't think we're going to need to know that anymore. Okay, now we have... Oh, it's just the same thing, but with an integer instead of a float. Yippee. I mean, I guess this... It is formatted a little bit differently. Okay, let's see what this has in store for us. Let's work up to... No, let's just do this entire thing. Another one of these lines. Ooh, interesting. It's slightly different this time. So, ivar1 is 96, 96 is ivar1, ivar1 is 4 and 5, which are 112 and 128, so it's just getting another parameter. If I had to guess, it's going to be landing frame, since that's the only integer in this file. Would you look at that, it's landing frame. Landing frame is 30. So 30 without the 0.0 because we're actually setting an int. I copied the wrong function. there's probably a significantly easier way to do what I just did. Then, yep, ivar2 is just 144, which is this. I don't think I've even referenced my Rust notes once. And then, yep, this is another set int. This one's shorter, though. So, set int. ivar1 is 96. 96 is fighter status kind fall special. And, yep, ivar2 is 112. 112 is this. It might not like this very much. We'll have to see what the compiler says when we try to build the plugin. But yeah, it's probably going to get caught up on that, which I'll have to explain later. Ooh, we have another one of these super jump punchlines. Okay, so we know this is at least fighter dot super jump punch. And what's going to be in there? That which points to our last AL stack, which is Lua script line system post. What does that mean? Let's just reference GitHub again. Fighter dot super jump punch. Oh, there we go. This one has Lua void. This one has Lua void. Yeah, I think that's what this is. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me, at least. I just realized I'm gonna have to edit this video. Wow. Let's see. Ooh, somewhat exciting stuff now. So we're using work module, usable transition term with fighter.module accessor and ivar1, which is 112, which is this. This is just return with a value. Yeah, this is just completely incorrect. Disregard everything I just said. It should look something like this. In fact, it should look exactly like that. So when we do subshift status main, it's essentially like a return where it just exits the function, or it just ends the script, goes to the, but instead of like returning a value like a function would, it just like moves you to the next script. So with this one, it's like we're going from the main status to the main loop status. Because the thing with main and main loop, main runs once, and then main loop continually runs till the end of the status. So let's get rid of all that. And here's our main, which should kind of be working. Here's pre. If you're wondering what all this is just declaring a bunch of variables. We have a situation kind. We have a ground cliff check. Okay, this one's going to be an interesting one. Okay, I'm going to do what I did for the last one. I'm going to take all of this code. I'm going to move it all down here. And then I'm going to get rid of double spaces. Replace all. Okay. Let's see. This should all be one section. So, it's calling this status module in its settings. Oh, I remember this one. This is the pre-status. It usually runs. So it runs pre, main loop, end. There's also like exec and init. You'll see those in some functions as well. Pre just kind of sets a fighter's like settings before the move actually starts. Like make sure this flag's on, this one's doing that. Checks if it's on the ground or the air, that sort of thing. So init settings are this module accessor. So fighter dot module accessor, make sure that this is like that. SVAR5 is 120, so situation kind none. Actually, I'm gonna format it like this. Then I'm just gonna go down this list. Ooh, actually, I'm not just gonna go down this list because I need to explain this part. IVAR6 is 136, so it's just that. Or I'm gonna remove the asterisk from that. UVAR6 is 152. 152 is ground correct kind keep. Yeah, okay. GVAR8 is 168, which is ground that variable. Next, this just specifies that this variable is a bool or a boolean. BVAR1 is that and true. So when you see this like and one thing, it's comparing it to another boolean. So 0 is a false boolean, 1 is a true boolean. So it's getting the results for when you check this with the true boolean. We know that this is actually just true, so true and true equal true, because they are the same thing. False and false equal true, false and true and false both equal false. So we can just put true in here. Moving on, IVAR9 is 200, which is this. I think actually we can just copy these three, because it's just 9, 10, 11, and 9, 10, 11 are just the next three in order. And then in stack as integer 248, I'm just going to take a wild guess, assume this in stack, this 248, just means put this 0 at the end. And there we go. That's our init settings. And oh, we just have really just like one more thing to do. This space is not supposed to be here, and the semicolon should be at the end. Let's just fix that. So this function, I'll replace that with a double colon, and fighter dot module accessor, comma, boolean, so a true boolean with this. So false and true equal false. Next up, IVAR6, which is 136, which is that. Or, that is not where that goes. Next up, BVAR2 as a bool. These next three are just going to equal false. UVAR13 is 200, and 200 is where it gets complicated. I just had like an absolute brain blast. So UVAR13 is set to 200. 200 is this mess. So the thing with this mess is that you gotta put it in like this. Parentheses surrounding it, asterisks on that one, because it had the underscore, and then you type as U64, comma. This is something that you're just gonna have to trust me on, since I do not have the brain power to actually explain what it's doing. Either way, moving on. UVAR7 is 216, 216's that. UVAR12, 232, that's that. Okay, so we can just copy these and paste them there. And that's that section done. And now we just return 0.into. Almost forgot how to do that for a second there. Before I actually code up these data scripts, I'm going to go through some more complicated stuff. This is my Rust notes file. It's not that complex really. It's just some of the basics that I learned, and it also has some more functions, some more examples that I did not do in this. Actually, I'm moving this up. I'm going to be, I'll leave this file in the description somewhere, and y'all can check it out. I'll just go over it real quick. Sub transition group check air cliff. This is just replace that with this line. When you see this as the only parameter, and it's not in like a module like work module, then you'll just want to put this at the beginning as fighter dot and then the function and empty parentheses. When you see cast operator cast bool, that's just this variable, which in this example was actually check air cliff. You just type dot get bool at the end of it. So these kind of work together. It's just let this variable equal fighter dot sub transition group check air cliff get bool. So it's setting this a boolean to this function that gets whether the fighter's on the air or the ground probably, or air or on a ledge probably. When you see, I think I covered this function, you gotta replace this with double colon and remove the impl. This arrow module accessor is fighter dot module underscore accessor. This, I'm kind of disappointed I didn't get to show this off. This is getting something called a global table. This 016 is what you put in the brackets here. So if this is like a 14, you put 14 in there. And sometimes you'll get like, you know how in main we had PPB var 6, and PPB var 6 was set all the way up here as fighter.module accessor. Well, it's kind of like that, where sometimes you'll get this 00 passed into functions as if it was just like PPB var 6. It's also not always called this 00. That is the global table. Sometimes it's like a completely different variable. I just think most commonly it's just this 00. This one, yeah, I covered this one. This is just set this variable to this value. Oh, this one's cool. This one's cool. We're checking if these two are equal. So this 00, which is our global table, and ALStack64, which is situation kind ground. So global, I'm not explaining a global table right now. So we get an integer from that, and we set this 00 equal to that section. And then I should have this 00 there. We let this variable equal the, what's that one word? The comparison. We set this variable equal to the comparison of these. So if this 00, which is the value we get from the global table, if that is situation kind ground, if the variable is that, uvar5 is true. If it's not, then it's false. This I kind of went over. So we check this variable against a true boolean. And we check if it does not equal 0. So that's, let's say if this was true, true and true does not equal false. Actually, I'm just gonna. So if true and true, which equals true, does not equal false. So that's also like equals true. So we're just checking if the variable equals true, but we can also just check that by putting it like that. I'm going to return that back to normal. If it equals false, then it's if, well, this is short for if uvar5 does not equal true. So the shorthand for that is this line right here. And then if you see a 1, or oh my god, if you see a U, it doesn't make any difference, just treat it like you would normally. This is just another way to write that. I haven't actually seen a 0 in here before, but if there's a 0, you just do the same thing but with false. So like if false and false, or if true and false equals 0, and to sort of work through the logic. We saw operator equals equals. There's also stuff like I showed the operator plus. Here's the operator less than. It's just checking if this is less than that, and it saves it as this boolean. So if 0, well, these variables have already been defined as numbers. They might be in your examples, they might not be. But either way, if 0, this boolean is just, it's always going to be true because 0.0 is less than 4. Actually, I'm just going to let evar5 equal true. This one's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, I kind of went over this a little bit. These two are the last specifically AL stack variables, and you need to format it like this. So a little bit more complicated, but you know, once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. This one actually, you can actually just replace that whole section with return 1.into, and actually just return or not even return, just 1.into. And then, yeah. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm going to take these 4 scripts and show y'all how to actually like put them into the file. So here's the code that I wrote earlier. This is how you declare a status script. I'm just going to type Ridley in there. So this is essentially a working status script. You put the agent in, you put the status we're replacing, which is just fighter status kind special high. If it was something more complicated, you would do fighter, fighter name, special high, and then, I don't know, like special high upper. I think I've seen that one once or twice. But for now, we're just replacing the main status, so that's all you need. And we have end, main loop, main, and pre. So we need to specify that this one is main. This one over here, this one I've defined as pre, and this one is end. Now we don't actually need to like declare the main loop one. We just need it here. I'm also gonna Ridley underscore special high main, or just copy the Ridley underscore, put that in front of all of them, just so I can differentiate them in case I was editing multiple fighters up specials. And then I can also just set the status on these two to high as well. Now I can just start copy pasting my code. So this one is main. So I'm just going to take all of that and put it in there. Next up is main loop, which is just this section. Pre, all of that. And end. I'm also gonna, we need this, the smash line install status scripts. So, Ridley, special high main, main loop, pre, and Ridley special high end. And actually, forget that, I just remembered, main loop, we don't actually define there. We actually need to copy this name, and this down here is what we shift our status into, I believe. If not, we'll probably just edit that again. So you know how I mentioned main runs once and then main loop runs a bunch of times. At the end of main, almost every time you'll find this, which just puts you into the next status. In more complicated functions, like probably Ridley's, would have it so based on this condition, you would subshift into like the right facing one, or the rightwards one. If you're like holding down, then it puts you into like the down one. And so you might have multiple of these in a file. Moment of truth, let's build this and see what happens. Okay, that's not that bad actually. I know what this error is. These all need to be asterisks. Let's see. This needs a situation kind structure. That's what, line 187. Yeah, situation kind none. Can we just do that actually? I'm gonna put asterisks on everything, since it left it out of a lot of them, but I'm pretty sure we're just gonna need it on everything. Oh, let's see what that does. 11 errors, okay. What's it mad at here? Expected that, found that. 198. Yeah, let's try .endo. See what happens. Because that's probably correct. Yeah. Get rid of the error. Yeah, then this is the structure we need. And then ground check needed a special one as well. Ground check clip kind. Was it on that? Yes, it was. Ground. Yeah, so maybe don't just put asterisks on everything. It really does not like L2C value. Let's see, use smash lib. Okay, there we go. I think I've had to do that before, putting an extra import there, and probably that exact one. We got 11 errors before, 10 or some. Okay, maybe let's oh, I see what it is. Never mind. Do not do what I just did. There we go. Okay, unexpected token on 165, meaning we probably left out a semicolon. Oh, yep, sure did. This needs a... Oh, of course. This needs an asterisk. Right here. And just an asterisk on 175. Okay, and it built. Let's put that in the plugins folder. There we go. Let's see if this worked. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? That's fair. You know what? Actually, yeah, that's fine with me. What did we mess up? We forgot an animation or something. I think we have to edit motion list. Definitely not what I was expecting to see today. Let's edit motion list. Okay, so I just went and copied this whole special high and special error I section from Charizard's motion list and pasted it into Ridley's, because this is what determines like what moves a character has, and I've just put Special High and Special Air High in because Ridley actually didn't have them. The main issue is that you can't actually define new animations the way I'm doing it. So what I did was just rename the animation files to Special High Start and Special High Landing F, and then in the motion list, what I did was also rename them here and here, and I'm gonna go test it in Smash. Actually, magic trick. Bam! Here's Smash. There's the grounded version and the aerial. God, what's the outro? Hope this helped. Happy modding. Subscribe. All the code is available in the description somewhere.